Hi,
Hi, can you see me?
I can see you. Looking good.
Well, thank you. How are you?
Thanks for asking. I think I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. You know that poster of the cat like on the
Oh my gosh, that's such an 80s like Lisa Frank era poster. Oh, that
I'm
just makes me
dating
feel so nostalgic.
I'm dating myself. How are you?
I'm okay, man. I actually don't know how I look because I spent all of Leisha's sermon like weeping. So, so thank you, Leisha. That was incredibly beautiful.
Wasn't it so?
But a great reminder.
Wasn't it so?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, another good service today. I mean, musically,
Oh
everything.
man, yeah,
Wow.
Hortensia was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
such a gift.
uh,
And just the messaging of Lent and of course this very special month of February, Black History Month, like everything coming together very beautifully today, I think.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, and it's always good to see your face. That always makes me very happy.
It's always good to see your face. I feel like we have a connection that's like deeper than we probably even know. So, yeah.
I know. So sorry, everyone, as we fangirl on each
Oh, sorry.
other. We forget for a moment. Oh, there's other people watching us. That would be awkward for them.
We're not alone. And and I guess speaking of we're not alone, we are not alone because we have two friends who are waiting on the other side of this camera off, camera on button.
Yes. So you guys can come on.
Come on
Whenever
down.
you're ready.
Are we getting just a
Oh my
voice? Oh
gosh.
no, we're actually getting faces.
Really?
Hold on. Now we're all blurry. What's going on there?
Oh, so
There we go.
there you
Yeah.
go. All right.
That
Well,
was a real slow reveal.
it's good. It built up the tension. I like. So we have Nick and Joel as our view guests on today, and
Yay.
we're super excited to talk to you
Oh
guys.
my gosh, I've been looking forward to this day for a very long time. Yay.
But we
Yay!
have to apologize to everybody because I think we hopped on for 2 seconds during the actual service on accident. So
That happens
Well,
all the time. We're all
okay.
yes, yours was very, very, yes, not complicated. So it happens all the time. So for those who may not know who you are, would you mind telling us a little about yourself and perhaps how you came to St. Peter's?
Yeah. So Joel, Nick, and just as a refresher, um, we don't live too far from St. Peter's. We're at the West Side Highway in 19th Street.
Mm.
So, I mean, for years, you would see me walking in front of St. Peter's with our two Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, and I got to know the church through the community, and it's been a gradual opening of finding a place to be for religion and for services. And you had a different experience in Chelsea.
Um, yeah, well, uh, I was always going to. I grew up a Roman Catholic, so I there's the church on the corner of 10th Ave and 20th Street that I would go to. I would walk over every Sunday, and I before I lived on 19th Street with Joel. I also lived on 16th in the West Side Highway for 3.5 years. So that church was always like my go-to on Sundays. Um, but because Joel had gone there and had gone to his meetings there all the time, and we heard that Christine was taking over. There was a new pastor coming in, so we decided to meet her, and and he had said, "Hey, I'm here all the time. It's a great community. I love everyone here. Why don't we try this, and we'll go to this church?" And so I was like, "Okay." And it was fun. It's funny. We laugh. It's been great. I'm so used to. I grew up so Catholic. I think it was like my first 2 weekends. I'm so used to standing up at a certain time and sitting down and kneeling, and everyone was like looking at like, I was standing up and nobody else was standing up, or I was sitting down and I'm like, well, what's going on here? You get so lost, and I'm like, wait, where am I? But the church is so beautiful inside. And I'm just, and I can't wait for the restoration to start again and go. And it's just such a beautiful place to be, that it just became a new home.
It's been wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. And I love that you guys came to St. Peter's through the community and through just being in the neighborhood. I think it's really so powerful when kind of the local church really sort of brings in, its own people and its own community. And so I love that part of your story. So,
and that church really has that power. It's been a community church since the first brick was laid. And I think that's the way it always has been. And, there was the great cleanup, which I'm sure, Martha, you remember as well. And we were dusting off old boxes of pictures from the 50s and 60s. We found a letter from JFK and like all this craziness. Yeah, crazy. But the pictures that you saw were community. You always saw everyone getting together, and it was such a powerful church throughout the decades. So that's what that structure means. That's what it is to me. It really is a community church.
It's also made such a difference for us to feel, just as we're out and about, walking past it in our daily life, like we belong here. This is another part of how New York opens up. And it's like when someone's coming out the front door and we know them and we can say hello, or like pre-pandemic, pre-pandemic when windows were open, you could hear noises inside. It felt like it was familiar.
Yeah.
I love it. A community church for sure, and what an organic way to come through those red doors. I love that story.
Yeah.
So. Martha, were you going to say? I was going to say the two of you have some news. It's like recent news. Dare you share with those of us who may want to be updated?
Yes, we are officially engaged. That was the best reaction so far. I love it.
It's so fun. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was, some would say.
It was fun. It was interesting. We were fortunate to have where we're at now, Fire Island, to be able to do something with just the two of us on the beach, where we weren't wrapped in cellophane and gauze and masks and PPE and for a comical story, but we were able to do something really special. I was panicked the entire day because it was raining, and I had this whole thing planned outside, and I'm sitting here and it's raining, and I'm like, oh, dear God, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to do this? And panicked, and it stopped raining when it was supposed to, and the sunset happened right as I asked him. Like the clouds, it was just one of those things where it was like,
powerful.
That's the way it's supposed to go. It really was, because it literally rained the entire day. And I was like a basket case because there was this whole, it was just, it's interesting.
I love it.
Yeah, Joel, did you have any idea that this was happening?
No, I mean, listen, we've been together for a long time, and so it's definitely something that was a welcome idea. But that day, no, I mean, if anybody knows us, either one or the other of us is always in gym clothes, and it's no different on that day. I had no idea Nick left the house in gym clothes to go for a walk, and told me I should come join him. I was relaxing or whatever, and he said, come join me in like half an hour or so. And I went to go in search of him in my gym clothes on the beach, only to eventually find him in like
came early, by the way, and I had to like literally like tell him that I was in another town somewhere, and that to not come on the beach, otherwise you like the world was going to crash down on me.
Yeah, and we had good friends that live out here who got involved and like told me there was an emergency with her husband on the beach, and I needed to go dig him out of a hole that he had fallen into with his car. It was really interesting. So
It was.
Long story short,
crazy.
here I am in gym clothes in like a stocking hat, and she pulls up on the beach in front of him, and he's like laid out 100 candles in the sand, and
Oh,
yeah,
Gorgeous.
it was
so
cute.
beautiful.
Oh, I love
I
it.
mean, thankfully, I was in a black hoodie.
Very like
And a tank top.
elegant. And that sun in the background there. Gosh,
That was real. That actually existed.
Yeah, that was like it's one of those things that you could not plan. It was like
No.
you were totally at the mercy of the universe that day.
Yeah.
Literally.
It was ordained in that moment.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Well, our church family and viewers are like sending like heaps of congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So happy.
Thank you.
And
I
some
love how you guys just are really stressing the whole gym clothes thing, and just by your appearances, I'm sure that when you are in your gym clothes, you're actually going to the gym or working out, because when I'm in my gym clothes, it's really just a way for me to be comfortable in my own house sitting on the couch. So
That is also an important part of it. Yeah.
I
went from suits for work to track suits for
Yeah.
the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the big thing.
It is. Yeah. It's so funny because I'm going back to the city today. I work for Estee Lauder. And as you can imagine, we have offices all over the city. They're all closed. But they started this thing where there's a portal where you could hotel. So you can log into this portal for employees. You could choose a location, choose a seat for a certain day. And that's where you go that day. So if you want to go to the office, you can. I went back this week. I have a couple of things to do, but my bosses are going to be in the office. So I decided to spend a couple of days with my bosses. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to dust off my work clothes and I have to shave. Like I have a hat on because I haven't had a haircut since I don't know. And it's, I literally am like a caveman. Everything is growing. It's because, just because there's a pandemic doesn't mean your hair stops growing at all. And so, we're on an island. We're kind of remote. There hasn't been a ferry to get off the island in 4.5 weeks. So this will be like the first boat is today. I'm going to get off. Oh, wow. But like, I have to literally like shave and shower and get dressed tomorrow and actually feel like a human being.
I think they're getting the wrong impression.
No,
it's
they
not
don't
quite like homesteading and Paul Bunyan out here. But
no, it's a lot of work after you haven't done it for a while. Like just me going into my closet, I'm like, ooh, what?
Right?
Trousers and they have buttons and
so uncomfortable.
Pull them on my waist. I don't like
that. I have like pull-up pants. Like that's what I wear. Like pull-ups. Like that's what I've gotten. And I used to. I'm 48 now, but I used to like go to work and I'm like, God, I would love to go to work in like sweats and gym clothes and t-shirts. And this past year, I'm like, I like sometimes I'll wear the same sweatpants for like 2 days in a row because I'm just like I'm just going right to the bedroom, right? Going online again. No one can see the bottom half of me. We're good. It's fine.
We had neighbors over that are in our pod for dinner last night, and I put on shoes.
Oh,
so I was like, this is exciting. Yeah.
It's so fun to chat with you guys, but we do have questions for you.
I'm sure you do. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Christopher, why don't you go first?
Oh, I'm going first. Amazing. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna go for the one of my favorites. I just swapped one out, Martha. But hey, so I feel like this is a great question. I'd love to hear from the both of you. When you are afraid, but you're trying to be brave, what do you do?
I probably talk louder. I probably do.
Confirmation there. Okay, your partner. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really tough question.
I've found for myself anyways, like I'm a very emotive person, and I have come in the last year to really let it out, not like drama, melodrama, etc., but to talk it out, to make sure people know. I had a good friend who always used to say anything is fine as long as everybody knows. And I used to love that, and it really has made sense in the last year. Like if I'm feeling frustrated, angry, anxious, scared, it's so much. We just had something happen this morning, and I was like, I have to tell you this because I don't want to think about it anymore. And just letting it out, for me, it's helpful.
It's I think it's hard. I mean, you there's so much time where you sometimes you spend more time in fear because you don't know, the fear of the unknown, the fear of what might be, what could be, and just learning to not think that way. So, being brave doesn't mean pulling someone off the ledge. Being brave could mean, changing your way of thinking so that you approach something in a very different way instead of approaching it from a back door because you don't know. So approaching it with, without fear could mean just, approaching it as if, you're asking for help or asking for a question. And, that part of being brave, I think, is much different than just talking louder so no one knows you're, if I talk louder, they won't know I'm afraid, but yeah.
Amazing, and thank you, Martha. This is going to be a good view.
View is a good view, but we are very much enjoying this. Okay, let's go. That was heavy, which I love that question. Let's go light.
Okay.
If you could eat only one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, wow. There we go.
Well, I'm Italian, so it would probably be either, it would have to be pizza. But like with chicken on it and maybe lasagna on it and maybe some meatballs on it. So it's still one meal, right? I mean, you did say one meal. That would be one. I think I grew up Italian. I grew up in a pizza store my dad owned for 30 something years. So you had pizza for breakfast. If there was nothing else in the fridge, you were like, oh, I'm gonna have a slice of pizza for breakfast. So you had pizza for dinner, and yeah.
It's when I get stuck on a food or a thought. Like right now, there's a fast food place called Star and 18, a diner in Chelsea, and they make this amazing Cuban burger. And since I have no access to it, that's the only thing I can think of. Please make a note of it.
Oh, it's Cuban so burger. Good, Chris.
Fries, have it all fries the time. Well done, no jalapenos, medium. And like that's what I'm stuck on now. But I used to live in Europe, and I was obsessed with peanut butter. And like for a year, I thought that I could like live off of peanut butter because I couldn't get it while I was there. And that wasn't the case either. So I don't know. I'm afraid to answer the question.
We're not going to hold you to it. You can
Wait, I thought that's how this worked. Like that's something like you get a knock on the door.
A jar.
Disappointed.
Maybe you could share the cannoli lasagna pizza.
Yeah. I have the best place for cannolis, and it's not Ferrara's. There's one little place on Mulberry Street that does the best pinoli cookies, the best pastries, the best Italian cookies.
Oh my
God. What's it called?
It's
hey, this was great.
You're just gonna have to figure it out.
Right, exactly. So there's, Ferrara's Bakery, right, on Mulberry, the big one, right? If you go all the way down Mulberry, right before Canal Street, there is this little bakery called Ferrara's. It's actually the same name, but it's this little, and when I tell you, it's so funny. I go in there now, and obviously there's always two young kids working the counter. I think I was 18. So 30 years ago, when I would drive in as you were a kid and you were like Greenwich Village, the city, and we'd go to Little Italy because that was like the cool thing as a Jersey Italian kid would be, right? And I found this place just randomly, and we would go and we'd have cappuccinos and we'd get cannolis and pinoli cookies, and I'd always bring them back. And it's just become this place where and every time I'm in the city and there's a holiday, that's where I go. And they still make the best pinoli cookies I've ever had. And it's a family owned place. And literally I've been going there for 30 years and it looks exactly the same. Yeah.
Love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. That's what I love about New York. There are a few of your like niche places that you just, it's what makes New York, New York.
That we hope remain open
yeah.
and survive all of this.
Yeah.
Right now. That's really good.
And yes, Christine, I agree with you. We need to keep track of these recommendations. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, it's like been Groundhog Day for the last year, so.
At this point in my life, I don't think I've done anything for the first time. I've done it. I've never gone skydiving. That would be one, but
I tried. I know. Wow.
I don't know.
I think we have some. I know.
No.
The last thing I did that was like outrageously different was skiing down a glacier in Vancouver. Sort of known, sort of on accident, but that was like definitely outside of anything I had ever done before. But that was like over 10 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll have to come back to you. I actually cannot think of anything.
Okay, I know what I want to do. I'll add that in. There's this activity, maybe somebody's heard of it, called geo-tracking. Nothing. I know, that's what I said. So we were watching a movie the other night, and it was a movie for children, really. But they were talking about geo-tracking and like running around this island trying to follow clues and find what they were trying to find. And apparently that is a real thing that there's a couple apps and you sign up for the service and people go and hide things everywhere. Like literally there's probably hundreds of thousands of things hidden all across New York City. And you go on the app and it gives you clues and you look for your coordinates and you go try to find them. I'm kind of obsessed.
So a bit like a scavenger hunt. Brenna Case would totally want to do this with you. So you know.
By all means.
Post-pandemic, we'll have it.
Yes, post-pandemic. That can be a part of your wedding party,
There you go.
That would be fun. Find the groom.
That's funny. That's funny. Sure.
Well, that's a good transition. Let's piggyback kind of on that into, obviously we've all been stuck indoors in the same place and all that stuff. So it's a good time to kind of dream and imagine. So what is the next place that you guys would like to travel to? What's on your sort of traveling bucket list?
Yeah. There's always the Maldives and Bali. That's always and my friend was just there. And we mentioned it to each other just as an aside, and we're like, oh my God, yeah, we definitely want to go there. Like, I think the first thing I would like to do is just go sit on an island with a little hammock.
We are on an island. Well,
not this island. Here we go. And just
different island, Joel.
A different island. Yes.
Got it.
With crystal clear water and just very, very low key and, drink out of a coconut and that's it. No internet, no Wi-Fi.
That'd be so nice.
No way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, we're definitely aligned on that.
Yeah.
There was again, we love the out of doors and we love being inside and adventures and all. And that area of the world just seems so exotic. And, there's cosmopolitan areas, within Bali, but it's mostly outdoors. And I have a friend who's an architect who designed a resort in the Maldives, and she was surveying the area with the owner of the company, And he's like, I think we're going to put it here. And she's a very crazy woman. She stripped down and in front of the investment group and jumped in the water and swam around. And she's like, no, we're going to put the resort over here. And that to me is like, that's like, I want to go there. Like, yeah.
Do you guys dive?
No,
I've never
either. I think that would be an amazing license to get. Like,
Do you?
go to diving school. I'd love that.
I do not. I am terrified of holding my breath underwater. Like, it makes me seriously anxious if I cannot get up to the surface quick enough. So that's not one for me. But my some of my best friends are divers, and they went to the Maldives on a diving trip and said it was
wow,
incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
I have a fear of water, but I would love to get my diving license. But Brian loves the water. He's like a fish. So just to have that experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Leisha said, count me in, and I'm not quite sure if she's talking about the geo tracking or your beach vacation. So
all of it.
we could do geo tracking in the Maldives.
Well, here's a fun question. If you were given $30,000 to throw an amazing party or gathering or event, what would that look like?
A wedding.
That's cheating.
Talking about that right now. That would look like a wedding for some 300 people, which is probably just family. Yeah, I'm from a huge family from the Midwest. I'm the last of 17 kids. And there's just like so most of that wedding party is mostly my family. But Nick's also from this like amazing local Italian family who knows everybody, and so
it's extended as well.
It has kind of been fun talking about we've had so many different ideas, like everything from I had one weekend I thought that like, let's throw a carnival instead of a wedding. And that didn't go over.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great fun.
No.
Fun thinking about
That's not happening.
Maybe.
I like
Maybe.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah, a carnival. Yes.
Would be fun. Yes.
Yes, and yes, that's 2 yeses.
17 kids. Yes, that's what he said.
I think we are running out of time, so maybe Christopher, we just
rapid fire, super rapid fire.
Super rapid fire. Okay, let's do super rapid fire. Okay, if you could time travel, when and where would you go?
Back to the 80s, because I don't think I got to see all of it the right way, even though I grew up in it.
I'd go back to the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Rapid fire. What is happiness? Happiness is.
Oh my God, everything. Happiness is everything. That is the goal of the day, of the hour, every day.
Happiness is food in my house always.
I'm there with you. That's very on brand for St. Peter's.
Yes.
All right, rapid fire. What is your favorite way to spend a day off?
Oh, outside, walking.
Yeah, hiking.
Yeah.
Cool. Rapid fire. What are you looking forward to?
The vaccine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the hope of being having a normal existence and seeing the city revitalize itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Watching family members of mine who have gotten it and see like how things are changing for them and how they're in service to the rest of the family now. It's like, it's been incredible. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Okay. What makes you feel at peace?
Meditation.
Food.
And meditating on food.
I grew up with everything was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's you're always at your most happiest
but
when
that
you're
is your meditation, right?
It is.
Nick cooks almost every
That's my cooking
meal.
is my meditation. Yeah.
More food questions.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. What's the most delicious thing you've ever eaten?
That is
Martha, I have this question.
That is such a hard question.
Oh, those. Okay, Nick made month 2 of the pandemic, this sausage roll. And it was like homemade focaccia, homemade sauce, homemade everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I could have that.
Oh, we could do that.
Aw,
Please make a note of it. You guys heard we're gonna have that, so come on over if you want.
okay, yeah,
I'm
anytime.
gonna dive through
There's
this.
both going now, so I'll have to look at
Yeah, since the ferry's running, right?
Exactly.
Now or never.
Do you have a most delicious thing you've ever eaten?
Are you asking me?
No, Nick. Sorry.
Oh, you know, my grandmother makes a very special kind of stuffing, and it's a very special meatball in her sauce. And those are always something I always look forward to. It was, it's very Southern Italian cooking, and it was something like, I try to describe it to people and they're like, what is that? It doesn't make sense. Like, it's what I, in my brain, memory is of the most wonderful thing I've had.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a combination of taste buds and nostalgia.
Mm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way to put
Exactly.
that. That's our
Rapid fire. I just have to ask you, rapid fire. What's the most delicious thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, meat.
Yes.
You know what? The most delicious thing I've ever eaten is the last delicious thing I've eaten. I just don't hold, like, there's so many delicious things to eat that it's sort of like every time I put something delicious in my mouth, I'm like, oh, I made a chocolate babka this week, which means that I've only been subsisting on chocolate babka for 2 days. And it's so good. I'll make something else next week, and that'll be so good. So, what about you, Christopher?
Oh my gosh, it's impossible. It's like that's a terrible term, Sophie's choice, but it's impossible. But the one thing that comes to mind is this slider. It was a fried oyster slider on Martha's Vineyard. And Brian and I went with a friend, and Brian ordered one, and we were like, oh, well, we'll order one too. I wish we ordered more. It was just like one little slider morsel bite, and my taste buds are like chasing that delicious.
Yes.
But there are so many delicious things anyway. But yeah.
Chris, it's interesting you say that, and that's so funny. Taste buds and nostalgia for Martha, but chasing that taste is true. Like, I try to recreate her meatballs or her stuffing. You can't. It tastes good, but it's not. It's chasing the nostalgia, chasing the taste. I like that.
Well, if you figure out the meatballs, share it with us. But I think the sausage rolls, so you feel free to share that.
Absolutely.
This has been such a fun view. I've loved talking to you guys and getting to know you a little better. So thank you so much for being
here as well.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We want you to meet our little friend.
Oh yeah, here you go.
Real quick.
Quick plug.
So you're gonna meet. Wait, if you can see.
Hello.
That's Buster.
Hello, Buster. Squirrel.
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna play, and Buster will come up to the door. He knocks on the door now.
He's a frequent visitor.
And he eats, right? We give him nuts every day.
So you can follow him on Instagram.
Oh, yes, you can. We're plugging Buster. A squirrel named Buster on Instagram. Please follow Buster's trial and tribulations around the island.
Yep.
He has
monetize so many things. If you can monetize a squirrel named Buster.
Yes, we are.
We don't want to make money off of him today, but that's a great idea.
This is one last thing before we go, because I know we're over, but there is this person, I think on Instagram, who makes these tiny picnic tables for squirrels.
Yes.
Oh,
Martha, it's on Amazon. It's a little picnic table. You staple, you drill it to the tree, and there's a little stick where you put the corn cob, and they sit on the picnic table and they eat their little. I'm totally getting it. Absolutely. But well, Buster has a little he's a little crazy stepbrother named Scraggles, who's got a really bad tail, and he's really not
he's been
all
through
with
the ringer.
it. Yeah, he's been through it. So Buster's got some little friends that. Yeah, so we need a picnic table.
Go find him and all of his friends.
Always the crazy stepbrother.
This is so lot. We love you guys.
Love you guys too. Thanks, everybody.
To you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.